In this episode, we head deep into the piney woods of Sabine Parish, Louisiana, where a few dedicated hunters have done the unthinkable, growing giants in a place few believed possible. But this season, one deer rose above them all, a legend they call Sasquatch, and for one determined, handicapped hunter, it became the hunt of a lifetime. This is one that you don't want to miss. This is Antlers and Hicks. All right, folks, well, look, I got one right now that might be, as far as I know, so far as we sit on October 8th, this is the biggest deer that I know of has been killed in the state of Louisiana right now for 2025. A beautiful, beautiful, typical frame, got a few irregular points, and like we always do, let's count them up and see what we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 scoreable points on this deer. Now, every week I tell you, guess the score. Well, right now, I'm gonna tell you, guess the score. One of those 4 scores right there is exactly what this rack is right here. Again, an absolute beautiful deer. I can't wait to see what it scores. Now, while I'm making my marks, you guys listen to the story.
What's going on? My name is Joel Masters. I'm 30 years old and I'm from Sabine Parish, Louisiana, a little town called Manny. And I'd like to tell you a little story about Sasquatch here. We first got pictures of him about, I think it was in 2023. He showed up as a picture perfect 10 point. We're guessing probably 130s, maybe a little bit higher. He just showed a lot of potential, you know, so for a couple years we put him on the no list. And the reason we called him Sasquatch is because at first he was a little camera shy. We couldn't get any good pictures of him. He was always just off camera, or it was blurry, you know, kind of like the Bigfoot pictures. But when he first really came in and we really got a good look at him, we had no idea that he really had the potential that he was going to have. Last year, he added a lot of mass, added a lot of tine length. He turned into an absolute beautiful deer. You know, just a picture perfect deer. A couple of our hunters actually let him go because we couldn't really tell. Back in 23, he looked at least like he was maybe 3. He might have been 4 years old. But last year he really blew up body-wise, and that really made us second guess what he was. Anyway, this year he added several different abnormal points. This year he turned into a 15 point. He has 15 scoreable points. And anyway, over the last couple years, you know, we've been really kind of stressing ourselves about this deer because we knew he had a lot of potential and we didn't want him to wander off. But anyway, the morning of October 4th, me and my dad, we decided to go into the stand. Me being a disabled hunter, I'm allowed to use a rifle the first weekend of October. So I took my dad's 30-06 and we got in the stand early that morning, and it was not even just a few minutes after daylight when this beautiful deer come out. It just both of us were so nervous. To say that I was shaking, I was about to shake that stand apart. I'm going to be honest with you. But he come walking across the high line where we were hunting, and he went into some trees. And for a minute I lost him. You know, I was like, man, where'd he go? And then all of a sudden he got into an opening, and he gave me the shot that I wanted. And when the gun went off, I didn't know what happened because there were several other deer that had been there that morning. And so in the chaos, we didn't know where he'd gone. But then I got to looking at the spot where I'd just shot him. I picked up the gun, put him back in the scope. Come to find out, he dropped where he stood. He never took a single step. And as far as I know, as far as I can tell from what I'm looking at right now, he's undoubtedly the biggest deer of my life. Yeah, so for something like this to come out of the piney woods of Sabine Parish is just absolutely mind-blowing. You know, it just, like I said, this is undoubtedly the biggest deer of my life, and it's one that I will remember for years and years to come.
Well, folks, I hope you liked that story. I know I did. And I'm going to tell you, the Masters guys, they manage probably just as good as anybody or better than anybody I know of in North Louisiana. You know, coming out of the piney woods in Sabine Parish to see a deer like this. And hey, this is something that I'm not going to say they do it every year, but they've done it before where they get some deer up there in the 150s, 160s that, and I can't remember if he's got one in the 170s or not, but if he doesn't, it ain't going to be long they do. And it takes a stringent management program in piney woods to get it there. So, you know, I always say, you know, let this be your paradigm of hope. Well, if you're in the piney woods, let this be your paradigm of hope that it's possible through a management system. If you're disciplined enough, you too can come out with this. Now let's see what this main beam. I always start on the right hand side, lowest pedicle. And guys, when you come out and you're doing that main beam, be real careful. You want to follow it right down the middle, and if it slips, just start over. Now I can tell it's got a little chip on the front of it. I don't think it's broke, but it's got a little chip on it. Let's see how long it gets. Not a bad main beam at all. I'm thinking 23, something like that inches. And let's see. Let me run my tape measure out there and see what we come up to. If you know my cat, Carl Wayne, old Carl Wayne slipping around. So if you see him walking and carrying on. Ooh, oh, hey now. That's what I was a little off on that. Ooh, it looks like I'm going to have 24 3/8 for the right side main beam. 24 3/8. Length of the main beam, 24 3/8. That ain't bad at all. That's a great way to start. I'm telling you the truth. You know, just looking at this deer, you may get a score in your head, but I don't know. It might exceed what I was thinking. Let's go and do the first point, first typical point on the right-hand side of the rack. I'm coming up looking like 4 0/8. 4 0/8. The next point is a good one. I don't think it's going to be the longest one, but whew. Golly, this deer's mad. This rack has fooled me already. The main beams and this tine right here. Y'all, this P3, we're going to say 10 4/8. It's just over the 3/8 mark, and I'm going to show you on the picture. It's just over that 10 3/8, 10 4/8. That's strong, y'all. And this one here looks like it's going to be better than that. Let's see. It might hit 11. It will. 11 1/8. Let's see what we got on the fourth one here. 8 1/8. 8 1/8. Now, always when you measure these points, you want to try to stay as close to the inside or close to the middle as you can. This deer's got 2 irregular points. Since I got my irregular measurement tool in my hand, we're gonna knock it out too. Let's see. I'm gonna have to do it from this side. It grows at a funky angle. I'm gonna put it on my mark, and then we're gonna come up with it. Let's see, right there. I'm gonna come up 3 2/8 for the irregular one. 3 2/8. Let's do the irregular 2 over here. When Ryan sent me the pictures, I didn't see this one. No, it was the one on the other side I didn't see. We're going to say 1 5/8. It's just over that 4/8 mark. We can say 1 5/8 for the irregular 2. All right, so let's count them. Make sure we got them all. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. That's it. Let's do some circumference measurements. And again, anytime you got a deer that's got several points on there, go ahead and count them up before you leave it, just to make sure you didn't miss one. You're looking for the smallest circumference measurement. I know that don't sound right. When I first made a deer score in 2012, I was like, wait a minute, we looking for the smallest spot? They were like, yeah, and I'm like, that can't be right. And that's what we're looking for. Look like we're gonna be at 5 2/8 on this right side C1. 5 2/8. All right, let's go to the C2. For a piney woods deer to have 5-inch base, that's strong. All right, so I'm at 4 and 6 right there. Oh, there's 4 and 5. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be 4 and 5/8. 4 and 5/8 on the C2. C3 will be 4 and 5/8 also. 4 and 5/8. And now let's do the C4 on the right-hand side. All circumference measurements are over 4 inches. 1, 5, and then the rest of them 4. That's strong. 4 and 2/8. 4 and 2/8. Man, you talking about a strong side of a deer, that right side. And let me tell you something, that left side's going to be even stronger because I believe it's got more points. Let's swap over to the left side. Let's see what we got. All right, guys, we're going to swap over to the left side of this rack. We're going to start with the main beam, the lowest pedicle on the left-hand side. You want to start on that lowest pedicle, angle up at a 45-degree angle, and then ease it up the backside of that rack and follow it right down the center. You've seen me in the past talking about bloodlines, and sometimes them bloodlines will make it easy to follow. This deer's got a bloodline. It's not quite as deep as some, but it's definitely there. And those bloodlines, that's probably something I'll absolutely love to see because it's characteristics on a rack. You know, one thing I believe I can tell why these main beams threw me off, they sweep out and then they come way in. And as the rack it's a wide rack, but I bet there ain't 8-10 inches between the ends of these main beams. All right, let's see if it's going to be as strong as that right-hand side. Again, that right-hand side was 24 and 3/8. Let's see what the left-hand side can come up to. Not quite, but still impressive. I'm going to call it 23 and 5/8. 23 and 5/8. And that's still a great main beam. 23 and 5/8 on the left-hand side. All right, let's take a look at these typical points. First typical point, or regular point, the right-hand side. We're going to call that 4 and 3/8. The next typical point on the left-hand side. I'll try to get it as close as I can get in the middle. Some of these irregular points kind of make it a little difficult, but we're going to do what we can. Look at here, look at here. I believe if I'm going to follow it like I'm supposed to, that's going to be 11 0/8. Golly. 11 0/8. And this other one's longer than that. Good night. Oh, man. How about this? 11 6/8. I got 11 6/8 on the 3 on the left-hand side. My goodness gracious. And then the last one, I'm going to say 6 and 5/8. It's just over that 4/8, so we can say 6 and 5/8. Let's get the circumference measurements. And they look about identical to what the right-hand side has. So let's see. Not far off at all. I got 5 and 0/8 for the first one. So its deer has 5-inch bases. The 2, hold on, there we go. I almost went to the wrong one, right? Let's see what the 2 looks like. Looks like we're going to be 4 4/8 on this too. Now let's go to the 3. It looks like all these are going to be over 4 inches too. 4 4/8 on that one too. And now you're probably like, gee, you forgot the irregular points. Yeah, I know I forgot the irregular points. I wanted to see what these circumference measurements was going to look like. And this one is between the 3 7/8 and 4, so we can go on up and call that and 4 0/8 as well. Let's go on, pick my tool back up. Let's get these irregular points. We got several of them. We got, what, 3 of them over here? Let's see, the first one, irregular 1, 1 4/8. Now the irregular 2 is going to be a good one as far as irregularity goes. 5 1/8. 5 1/8. And now let's get this last one up here. Now y'all be looking at that inside spread. Tell me what you think. It's just over the 1 4/8. We're going to say 1 5/8. So let me count the points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Now, what y'all think that inside spread? Go on and put it in the comments right now. What you think that inside spread is? Put it in the comments. Also, go ahead and lock in your score. Of those 4 scores, what do you think this one's going to turn out to be? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Let's see. All right. I had to go over it. That dude was kind of wanting to inhibit it a little bit. Got it right there. Y'all ready for this? 18 inches on the button. 18 0/8 inside spread. Well, there you have it, folks. You've seen it, baby. You've seen these great main beams. You've seen these long tines. You've seen the multiple points, and you've seen the inside spread. What do you think your score is? What do you think that the score is going to be on this beautiful Sabine Parish, Louisiana buck? Tale of the tape coming up. I'm going to tell you, folks, when I first saw this deer, I was not sure that this is what this deer would score. I thought probably about 15, 20 inches smaller than what it is. But let me tell you something. This deer is big. Let's start with the left side of the rack. Left side of the rack, we got 3 irregular points. The longest one is 5 1/8. The total inches of irregularity are 8 2/8. When it comes down to main beam, the main beam on the left-hand side, 23 5/8. The left-hand side has 2 points that are longer than 11 inches, or right at 11 inches. He's got one that is 11 0/8, and he's got one that's 11 6/8. The circumference measurements, 5-inch base. Then it goes 4 4 4. I'm telling you, this deer's got everything it takes to score well. The left side of this rack came to be 83 5/8 inches. That's a lot bigger than I anticipated. Let's go to the right-hand side of the rack. Right-hand side of the rack had 2 irregular points. The longest one was 3 2/8. Total inches of irregularity are 4 7/8. I think this deer had like 13-something inches of irregularity overall. The main beam on the right-hand side, 24 3/8. The longest point is 11 1/8 right here, followed up by this one, that's a 10 4/8. Circumference measurements, 5 2/8 inch bases. Then it goes 4 4 4. The total inches of antler on the right-hand side, 81 6/8. So when you take that 81 6/8 for the right-hand side, you add it to the 83 5/8 on the left-hand side, you get a total inches of antler. Just a total inches of antler at 165 3/8. Then you factor in the 18-inch inside spread. You get a Buckmaster score of 183 3/8. Crazy. And I'm telling you, it's just October. This is right now, as it sits, to my knowledge, the largest deer for 2025 for the state of Louisiana, coming out of Sabine Parish. Guys, this deer, I love it. Piney Woods, hard to beat this deer right here. My name is Greg Hicks. This is Antlers and Hicks. And I want to encourage you guys to live your life past 20 yards. I'll see y'all next week.